It was a typical sunny morning in the quiet town of Willowbrook. Kids laughed and played games on the sidewalks while the adults started their normal schedules. Among them was a young police officer named James Carter, known for his cleverness and problem-solving skills. In the heart of Willowbrook, the police station was busy with activity. Officer James Carter was listening to two men seated before him, a seasoned farmer named Henry Thompson, and a confident young man named Benjamin Turner. Henry said,
"The man next to me is a thief."
Pointing at Benjamin. Officer Carter raised an eyebrow and calmly asked,
"Is that so? Tell me, Henry, what did he steal from you?"
"One of my prize-winning cows."
Henry replied.
"And what's your response, Benjamin?"
Officer Carter inquired, looking at the young man.
"Why would I steal a cow? I have my own cows, and if I ever need more, I'll buy them. I'm no thief."
Benjamin retorted. Officer Carter thought for a moment, then smiled.
"This is interesting. I won't rush to judge. I have a question for both of you, and the one who answers it correctly will determine the cow's ownership. Now, go home, think about this question, and come back only when you have the answer. Here's the question. What is the fastest thing in the world? Take your time to ponder."
The two men left the police station, leaving Officer Carter deep in thought. He enjoyed challenges like this, and he knew it would take some time to find the right answer. People often came from nearby towns to seek his help as he was known for his fair judgments. Back at his farm, Henry was troubled. How could he find the answer to such a puzzling question? As he sat in his living room, he decided to ask his daughter for help. Rebecca Thompson, a bright and wise young woman, had always been his source of guidance.
"Dad, I know the answer,"
Rebecca said with confidence.
"It's time."
Henry was surprised by her prompt response.
"Time? How so, my dear?"
Rebecca explained.
"Time is the fastest thing. It never stops, and it seems to fly by when we want more of it. We can't catch it or slow it down, no matter how hard we try."
Filled with newfound hope, Henry returned to Officer Carter and shared his daughter's insight. Officer Carter was impressed by the answer.
"Who helped you come up with this solution?"
He inquired.
"It was all my daughter's brilliance."
Henry admitted proudly. Officer Carter nodded and said,
"She must be a remarkable young lady. Very well, you have found the answer, and the cow shall remain yours."
In the following days, Henry brought Rebecca to meet Officer Carter. They talked about the complexities of judgment, and enjoyed each other's company. As days turned into weeks, Officer Carter found himself drawn to Rebecca's intelligence and warmth.
"You're not just wise, you're also beautiful,"
he said to her one day, blushing. Rebecca chuckled and replied,
"And you are an astute and charming police officer."
Their friendship blossomed into a deep bond, and they fell in love. Officer Carter couldn't imagine life without Rebecca by his side. One day, he mustered the courage to confess his feelings.
"I'd love to marry you, Rebecca,"
he said, looking into her eyes. Rebecca smiled and responded playfully.
"I too would love that."
And so, they got married, and Officer Carter became the happiest man in Willowbrook. However, he worried that having such a wise wife might affect his reputation as the town's young police officer.
"Rebecca, I adore you, but I don't want people to think I rely on you for judgment."
Officer Carter shared his concerns. Rebecca listened attentively and smiled reassuringly.
"I understand, James. I won't interfere in your duties as a police officer. Your reputation means a lot to me too.
Life went on blissfully for the newlyweds. Officer Carter continued to solve cases and disputes, and Rebecca managed their home with grace and care. They discussed cases in the evenings, and Rebecca often agreed with his judgments, never offering her insights unless asked. However, one day, a dilemma arose when two young boys approached Officer Carter with a dispute about a missing horse. Both boys claimed it was theirs, and Officer Carter couldn't determine the truth. Feeling a sense of empathy for the tearful boy who genuinely owned the horse, Rebecca approached him later in the day.
What's the matter, little one?
She asked gently.
The officer gave us a question that I can never answer.
He said sadly.
What did he ask you?
His question was, what's the biggest thing in the world?
Rebecca knew that she must not help the boy, but the answer was easy for her and very difficult for him. And he was telling the truth about a horse.
Tell the officer that the biggest thing in the world is air.
She whispered softly.
It's everywhere, surrounding us, and when we look up at the sky, it stretches beyond our sight.
The boy followed Rebecca's advice and shared her words with Officer Carter. This time, Officer Carter grew suspicious. He knew these words were beyond the boy's knowledge.
Who told you this answer?
He demanded. The boy hesitated, but finally, he confessed.
It was your wife, Rebecca. She told me what to say.
Officer Carter was disappointed. That evening, he confronted Rebecca, feeling betrayed by her actions.
I asked you not to intervene in such matters, and yet you did.
He said with a heavy heart. Rebecca looked at him, her eyes filled with sincerity.
I'm sorry, James. I couldn't stand to see that poor boy in distress. But I promise, I'll never do it again.
Didn't I tell you that everything which I have belongs to you? You have done the one thing, the only thing that I asked you not to do. Now take what belongs to you and go back to your father's home.
He said.
Before I go, can I make you one last meal?
Asked the Rebecca.
Then I'll take what belongs to me and go.
Yes, answered the Officer Carter.
Make what you want to eat. Take what you want to take. Just be sure that you are not still here tomorrow.
Rebecca cooked the great meal. While he ate, she gave him a strong drink made from palm juice. She gave him many cups of it. At the end of the meal, the Officer Carter lay down and slept. With her family's help, Rebecca carried the Officer Carter to her father's home. They put him on a bed and he stayed in a deep sleep all night. The next morning, a booming voice filled the room, awakening everyone, shouted Officer Carter, startled. Rebecca entered the room, laughing.
You said I could take whatever I wanted, James, and what I wanted most was you, so I took you.
Officer Carter was amazed by her cleverness and bravery.
You truly are wise, Rebecca. Let's return home together. Only a foolish man would let go of such a brilliant and loving woman.
From that day forward, Officer Carter and Rebecca lived harmoniously, respecting each other's roles. Officer Carter continued to uphold justice as a police officer, and Rebecca supported him with her love and wisdom. If you found this story helpful, we request you to subscribe to our channel, as this will motivate us to create more such videos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.